arises when we have less number of equations and more number of variables. So when number of equations is less and number of unknown variables is more, we cannot find the solution mathematically by using ordinary algebra. And so this special type of branch or methods comes in. So to solve this LPP, we require to have some methods. So mainly there are two methods. One is called the graphical method, the other is called the simplex method. The graphical method uses just sketching out the whole problem, and because graphical method is useful when only two variables are in discussion, because our plane accommodate two variables easily. So the linear equations, the linear constraints, they are all plotted by means of lines, and when all the restrictions are plotted by means of line, what we get a common region which satisfy all the constraints. And this common region, which cause it so it contains your solution, your feasible solution, but you have to look for that what of those feasible solution will lead us to the optimum solution. So the graphical method used for two variables and gives us the optimum solution as such. If we have more than two variables, in the real life we very often have more than two variables. If more than two variables are there, then we apply the simplex method, which is an algorithmic type of the method. So iteration by iteration the solution is improved, and we can find the solution to that. So more than two variable. Now for graphical method view, even so I'll take this very problem to be solved, or we can take another problem, it's okay. So how the graphical method works, that I first want to explain. So when all these constraints are put in form of lines, then what we get is we get a closed region. So this is, so I'll take another problem which have more than two equations. So just we take another problem, so to view how this, so the another problem data, so which has more constraints. Suppose, so this was for minimization, so we can consider this maximize z equal to 3x1 plus 5x2 such that three x1 plus 2x2 less or equal to 18, x1 less or equal to 4, x2 less or equal to 6, x1 greater or equal to 0, x2 greater or equal to 0. So because it has more number of constraints, so I can make you see the region where the solution lies in a better way rather than this. And it is talking maximization. So you have the linear function, objective function, the constraints, we have three constraints, and then non-negative restrictions. So when these constraints are plotted in simple xy plane, we get a bounded or sometime even unbounded a region so this is our x1 axis, this is x2 axis. So these two constraints are very easy to view. X1 less or equal to 4, x2. So how this is formed, we consider this inequalities into equalities. So x1 equal to 4, here is 0, so x1 is measured here, so x1 equal to 4, so this is my line x1 equal to 4, x1 equals to 4. I have considered equality. Now when a line is drawn, it divides the whole region into two sectors. One on this, in fact three sectors, one on the left side, one on the right side and one on itself. So this equality is there on the line. Now our constraint is x1 less or equal to 4. So it's very easy to view that less or equal to 4 here. So less than 4 will be on the left side. So our concern will be the region on the left side of this. Similarly, x2 less or equal to 6, we consider x2 equal to 6. This is my x2 variable. So here we have this. This is our x2 equals to 6. And again we can see x2 equal to 6 is on this line. So x2 less than or equal to 6. So below this will be on this side. So we are seeing that the whole plane will get narrowed by all these restrictions. And then further this one 3x1 plus 2x2 less or equal to 18. So if this line is plotted, it's very easy to choose the two values and plotting this. So this line is plotted, the graph will be this way. So this is the line which represents here 3x1 plus 2x2 equals to 18 is this line. Now in the previous two it was very easy to get the direction, like in this case it was this way, but here it is not that easy. But the method is there, very simple. The method is this: take any point which is not on this line, The most preferred is the 0, 0, provided it is not on the line. So 0, 0, we can see it doesn't belong to this line. Then enter that 0, 0 means x1 equal to 0, x2 equal to 0 in the concerned inequality. So 0, 0 is entered in the concerned inequality. So 3 into 0 is 0, 2 into 0 is 0. So 0 less or equal to 18. So if the inequality is satisfied, then the region containing the chosen point is the region you are looking for. If the point does not satisfy that inequality, then the opposite one. Supposing instead of 0, 0, someone had taken a point, say here, it is 6, 5. So 6 comma 5. So 6 3s are 18, 5 2s are 10. So the total is 48, which is not satisfied. So this is not the region, the opposite one. So 0, 0 is satisfying this, and that's why the region which is containing 0, 0 is the region. And that is why the arrow will get on this side. And then x1 greater or equal to 0. Generally all the LPPs will have their solution space in the first quadrant only. And that's why we are never on the negative side. So we are never on the negative side. So they all fall in the first quadrant. So we can get the most common region. And generally we shed it out by dotting or colors or lines. So this is the shaded region which describes so this is the region where all the restrictions, constraints are satisfied, and where the non-negative is also satisfied. So this region is called the feasible region. It is given name, so O, then here if give a name A, then this is B, and this C, and this D. So this is O, A, B, C, D. This is the feasible region or the feasible solution space. Now on the theoretical part of this, it is proved that this feasible region, in fact many choices are there. It may happen that you don't get any such common region. It will happen when the constraints are just opposite. You are getting one arrow on this side and other arrow on this side. So nothing is common. So when the common space, common region does not exist at all, then the problem is not having solution. So an LPP may not have a solution. And then it may be unbounded. Like here it is a bounded one, but it may be unbounded. In many a time in the minimization type problem, if the previous problem that of Taylor's, if you plot, you will get an unbounded. So now in case of unbounded or bounded, now if it is bounded, then it will be a convex set. So convex, how we define the convex set in mathematics? So convex set is the set where if you choose any 2 points and join them, any 2 points you choose and you join them, then the line segment joining those 2 points also belong to the same set. So this is always a convex if it is bounded. So a convex region is formed. This is our feasible region, and here it is a polygon type. Now it is also proved that the vertices of this feasible regions, bounded one, will be countable, and it is also proved that the optimum solution of this problem is going to hit somewhere on one or more than one of the vertices. So as such, if somebody has to look for the optimum solution, there are infinitely many choices available. But theoretically it has been established that one can check for these vertices, the extreme points O, A, B, C, D. And so one can read the coordinates of O and A. So O 0 0, one can find the coordinates of A. So A x1 is 4. So A 4, the coordinates of A 4 0, coordinates of B. So coordinates of B, so x1 is 4 here, and the x2 is 3. The coordinates of C can be worked out. They are 2 6, and then coordinates of D on x2 axis, so 0 6. So this way all these coordinates are found. Now because we need to maximize the z, so one can find the value of z at each of this vertex. So put x1 0, x2 0 in the z, so here the z is 0. So at each point we find the value of z. So 4, so 4 3s are 12 and 0, so this is 12. At each point we can find the value of z. So 4 3s are 12 and 5 3s are 15. So 15 and 12. So we find the value of z at the point B. So ZB is, so 4 3s are 12 and 3 5s are 15. So 15 and 12, 27. And then at C, the value of z will be 2 3s are 6 and 6 5s are 30. 30 and 6, 36. And here the z is 0 and 6 5s are 30. So we have the values of z at all these vertices. Because we want to get maximum value of z, we can see the maximum value of z is available here. So this is the point where the z is maximum, and that is why these are the values of the decision variable which will be the perfect optimum solution. So here optimum solution will come out x1 equal to 2, x2 equal to 6, and the z maximum is equal to 36. So this method called graphical method is very simple to handle the problems which involve just two variables only. One another method is also there within this setup. Generally when so many constraints are there, then it's very lengthy to work out the value of z. So what is done is, value of z is assumed to be 0. So we get 3x1 plus 5x2 equal to 0. That will be a line passing through origin. So a fictitious line will be drawn this way. So these lines are called isoprofit lines. And then this line is moved away from the origin and it is kept parallel to itself because we want to maximize the z. So the away the line is from the origin, more the values of z will appear, and as the line get closer towards origin, the value of z will decrease. So this line is keeping parallel to itself, is moved away and farthest possible. The search is that it should go farthest possible, and it should contain at least one point of the feasible region. So if just imagination, if this line goes this way, and farthest when it will reach, it will be somewhere here like this, and it will contain this single point, and that point will be the giving you the optimum solution. So that method requires a little perfect scaling, but also used, and this is quick, just work out the coordinates value. So this is how this graphical method works. Now what is also required in this today's class is how this is so with this problem formulation and quick one formulation that we did and then one small solution, so at least the whole idea comes in. Now now the concern is what are the applications in other branches. This is the artificial one I took, the previous one. So in the industry the applications of LPP are very, so 2 or 3 applications are very famous. One of them is called the transportation problem, the other is called the assignment problem, many others are there. So in the transportation problem the application is done in this way, that we want to transport some product from one place to other place, origin to destinations. The transportation costs are there, each destination requires certain amount, it has demand, origins have their certain supplying capacity, and so, and the concern is to minimize the total cost of transportation. So TP is very good application or very perfect particular case of LPP, though it is not solved by the simplex method or this graphical method, special methods are there, but TP is an LPP only. The other application is the assignment problem, which is further application of transportation problem. In the assignment problem, what is done, we want to assign the jobs to machines or jobs to the persons. The thing differs is that one machine can occupy one job at a time, or one job can be given to one person at a time. Now different machine or persons will take the different timings, and so the question is that how the assignment should be done for all the jobs to all the machines. So each job is assigned and each person or each machine gets exactly one job at a time, and the objective will be to minimize the total time taken or the total profit to be maximum or the total cost or losses to be minimum. So the other is the assignment problem, which is the application of this. Now in this so in the last few minutes I will give you the assumptions